You can literally build this, a system, brand it with their logo, go on Google, get the logo, slap their logo on it, create a series of URLs for everyone you want to outreach. Go to Apollo.io, find the direct person you want to get in touch with, send it to the entire company. Go really, Richard Branson, guerrilla marketing with it. Send it to everyone in the company. If you're creating something sick like this, it's worth showing off. If anything, it's going to get to a CEO or someone that wants to get in touch with you. Let's say you literally copied what I'm doing verbatim. You can just be smashing out ideas. This is a perfect example of a project that you can have for one day, where you just wake up in the morning and you're just doing what I'm doing right here. You're building something within, if you just lock in, I would even say 30 minutes, you can get to this. You could definitely be taking 2 or 3 shots a day. This could be a cold email. A cold email could go out and say,
clap, 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 we're done just right. 5-day sprint took us to new heights. Make it, build it, your dreams ignite. We're making moves at turbo pace.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Community Updates with a little bit of a twist this week. We're going to experiment something new where we also want to bring you the latest happenings in the world of AI and see if we get inspired along the way and we maybe end up building something using the 5-day sprint. So you get a little insight into the community, you get a little insight into what's happening in AI. And if you're lucky, by the end of this video, you also get a bit of a demo. And so as always, I've got Ollie with me. I'm definitely pointing in the right direction this time. I'm sure I am.
Yes, you are indeed. I'm not even going to try and point because I'll get it wrong and that'll just ruin the whole intro. But yes, you are right. And as we know, live demos, hey, let's see how we get on with this. This could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think a good topic to maybe start on would be ElevenLabs, because you noted me this yesterday, and I love this because I'm out in kind of 4 hours ahead of the UK, and I get these notes from Ollie in the middle of the night. So I wake up to sort of an AI news bulletin without me even asking for it, and I love it because I feel like I'm ahead of the curve because Ollie's getting the announcements while I'm sleeping.
Yes.
So one of the announcements that I got from Ollie yesterday was about ElevenLabs introducing image and video. So I haven't even looked at this. As you can see, I've just logged in and this is literally, they're giving me the overview here. So it would be really cool just to dive in together and maybe see what we find interesting about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I was, funny enough, I was driving home yesterday and then I got a notification on X and I went across to it and it's the first multimodal platform we've had, which introduces image to video as well as voice controls. And
Wow.
I think probably fair to say for both of us, we were introduced to ElevenLabs just because we had that ability to download MP3 files and then we could just add that into CapCut or Premiere Pro and add in a voiceover, right? I remember the days, must have been start of the year, maybe even early last year, where you'd go and try and make a TikTok video and you'd have to go and download the voiceover, edit them all together, merge them into one another, and then you could just go and post out some animated video. But
It's wonderful, man.
Yeah, no, this has got the legs to be very, very, very interesting because, like,
This
you can
is
see.
cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's cool. So let's play around with this a little bit. So all right, so they've got interesting videos here, and I'm sure obviously because ElevenLabs, you can actually get people. Hear that, by the way? Was it audio?
No, I couldn't, but
Ah,
I think it's just. Do you know what's interesting? It's in beta mode still, which is quite cool. I guess they're just piloting this out to see which ones perform best.
we want to make sure we can get the audio and the system audio. It should be. I would have assumed it would be recording. Let's see.
Could you hear it, by the way?
I can hear it, but I'm trying to see if there's like a. Let's see. So there's a setting that turns off system audio. No, I don't know.
These live demos, hey.
You know what I mean? Yeah, normally they have a setting for system audio. No, okay, it is what it is. Maybe it records on my side, and then we can see after. Okay, well, anyway, we can clearly use this just to generate. Where are we? Generate videos. So let's see. Okay, start frame. What they got here? Different resolutions. Okay, the standard kind of experience.
Do they have Kling and Nano Banana on there, Omar, with different models?
I think they.
Oh, they
do.
did.
Image, yeah. So okay, so let's create an image then. So, Was there anything let's see. Okay, we got a video here of. Let's see if we can
Oh.
take. Oh, it's a very low res image, but let's see if this works. Use this character. Zoom out into a full body, into a mid body shot, changing the background from a plain BG to a sophisticated universe based in the year 3025. Without aging him, of course. All right, let's see what it does. Cinematic. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, nice.
Hold on a second. We should do that for the video. No, because that was the image I put in. So okay, hold on a second.
You could do it for an image, then get the reference, and then you
All
can
right, let's
pump
just see what let's just see what it does based on that. Because I actually, hey, prohibited. Okay, whatever. Let's see what's going on.
Oh wow.
What's cool is also like the UI that's just like kind of generally the general standard. Now this is very much mid-journey UI.
Yeah, I was
Even
gonna
though
say.
okay, the generation. Okay, so I kind of picture me. All right, so let's see. Let's just create something. Let's just say use a I don't know, male 33. All right, just see what it does. Just get a little sense of how it works.
I'm interested to see how this works.
And then we were saying we can just turn one of these into a video. So
Let's
funny.
have a little look and see if any of these are good. I don't know if it's just me. I hate space sci-fi kind of stuff when it
I
comes
know,
to.
no, I hate it. I hate it as well. I hate it as well. I'm always trying to be creative on the fly right now. So,
Could we try and do one for like a Ramsay's kind of kitchen and try and link it to Guilty Chef? So almost like try and
okay,
generate our very own chef.
yeah, almost like someone actually creating a recipe as well, right? So let's
Yeah,
say,
100%.
hmm, okay, so let's actually go straight to video.
Yeah,
So
cool.
mid close up shot of a chef in a black apron with the logo Guilty Chef written like that in Helvetica.
Oh, look at the detail.
Let's see, close up shot with it. The chef is cutting a red onion, finely diced, in a modern kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. You
So
see what
what's
that does? Hold on, we're
what I
doing
think
that's
is
the store
interesting
off. Yeah, go on.
is that, like, for people at home that are watching this, whether it's Sora or it's VO or Kling, whatever you use, you can actually also upload the logos. So if you didn't know what the font was or you didn't trust it to be super, super relevant, you can have those image references. So if you wanted to, you could upload your logos there, or any particular product prompts that you need to be added to these videos, and you want a real consistency. I always find, oh, perfect, cool. I always find that Google Nano Banana as an individual platform is one of the best if you want to just basically recreate the exact image you upload, because we all know AI sometimes has its challenges with changing a few different things here and there. So I always find
Let's
it's the
see.
best to get that image reference to build up that first image, and then you can turn that image into a video by doing exactly what Omar's doing here.
Okay, let's see what that looks like.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
we should maybe put a red apron. Let's see what it does.
What would
But yeah,
be
no. Mhm.
Oh no, I was just gonna say what would be really cool is like you can start building the base of either an ad, a social media post. It's almost like uh, you remember that burger video I made ages ago where all the different animations that come with it? You can always have that with like a frying pan, like the fire spurting up from a frying pan. It starts creating that product that you're putting that recipe out for.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
like
yeah.
a reel that you can then post out.
One of the things that I loved as well with um that I would do with video is get assets created using Kling, which you could probably do using this or Midjourney, with a green screen or just a plain color background, which you can then crop out. But then also get in the video, I'll do a green screen because I'll turn it into a video and I'll put it in something like Premiere and then use like chroma key to, clear out the background. And so
Mm,
when I used to create, if I create a reel, whether it be like, money falling, I'd get the image created mid-journey, animating, Kling, and then just key out the background and it just looks like you got a transparent sort of image, like which is really cool for reels.
that's
So there are
interesting.
some like cool assets you can create. Okay, this is what that's terrible technique though, isn't it? That's but that's cool.
As a whole, though, it's not too bad. As in, like, it generally looks
Red
like
light. Yeah, yeah. Put about 10 kilos on me though, didn't it?
I don't know if we're
Um,
just trying to be impressed or that was Sora, right? That was Google Sora 2, or
but
sorry, Google.
it is a great way. Like you can take yeah, these guys butchered the logo. Wow. But you can definitely, if you get the prompting right, you can definitely create a sequence of clips like that. Then use something like FFmpeg to actually stitch it together into an actual like full on video. So you can actually basically create a recipe video just from using an API.
Yes.
Like even using things like Fal AI, you could do that as well. There is like FFmpeg is really cool. I don't think a lot of people like know of it enough, but it's basically like this open source library to be able to just do stuff with audio and video. And so you can really easily use this inside Claude Code. So let's say we went to let's go to Claude and let's say okay, first of all, let me get an API key. So shall we try to do something? See if we can create like a sequence.
100%. Let's give it a go.
All right, so this is a canvas I've got set up, which for this I just use a 5-day sprint framework, and then we go over here. So basically, we've got a project now ready to go. Okay, so let's say okay, we're gonna go to here. We're gonna create an API key. API. Let's call this canvas test. Fine is to create a new page at / recipe. Oh, okay, just let's out the pitch for now. Okay. Now if we go over to file, let's see what models they have. Let me just store my API key so I don't lose it. Okay. Because it's quite interesting because we'll come on to it in a moment, but you were speaking about the video that these guys generated yesterday, RPN, and a few of these guys were messing around right
Yeah,
on it.
PJs.
Yeah, what was that? Do you have the video on your side open?
I
It wouldn't
can
open from my side on the browser.
let me have a little look.
Yeah,
Yeah, so ultimately, PJ Ace and I forget the other gentleman's name were set a challenge by Qatar Airways to create a advert for Qatar Airways using only AI models.
right.
So, and the task was that those two ads are then going to be published after and sent out to the world. And RPN was hosting the event, and they only had 14 hours. So it's from when the flight set off to when it landed. They had that
Yeah.
time only to create these individual ads. I'm going to try and find on X right now whilst we're chatting away the end result because it's really cool, and it actually really reminds me of the pinned video on your Instagram page. You know when you created Greg's, what was it called? The cup video.
Oh yeah. The Greg Magic Cup or something.
Magic Cup, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah, it reminded me of that because there's so many animations that are used inside of this one.
Yeah. That was still using something that's like a manual process, but so much of that can be automated now for sure.
100%.
Let's see if we can. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a recipe for. We'll take a recipe for. Yeah, just. I'm going to create. I'm going to create a recipe and a recipe tutorial video for, I don't know, buttermilk pancakes. I want you to create a table with each row having step number, step title, step instructions, step video prompt, step narrator prompt, image prompt using video 3.
I found the video.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. I want to make sure that the sound comes with it because the other really cool thing that these guys have done is they've not just done image to video, they've also got sound effects in there. They created their own designated song with either ElevenLabs or Suno. So the whole package itself is not just a bunch of clips merged together um and turned into a video. It's a really full on production. And what was interesting as well is they also used a few human B-roll videos and images to allow the
It was also great, very cinematic, even the way it was shot in general, you know, like even just
yeah,
the quality of the actual clips.
100%.
Um,
100%. Want me to share my screen right now or
yeah, you can go ahead. Basically, all I'm doing here is I'm just getting Claude to just write me a recipe. So this is a good example of how, even if I'm testing something. So what we're trying to do right now is see, can we use an API easily using File AI? So we're going to see if we can use VO. We're going to give it our file Claude with 5-day sprint installed, our API key. And so then it can use any of these visual models that we have on File AI, which is a really good resource. We're using Claude to basically go and write the recipe, but also give us individual image prompts and video prompts and narration prompts for every single step. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can just give basically have a section in on our page where we can manually paste some of these in and then run the API sequence so it can go and create the video and then use FFmpeg library to go and stitch the videos together. And then if we're lucky, see if we can actually generate the audio as well and tie it together. And maybe you can actually have a full, what does it look like if you create a full recipe video? And then what you can do is, because we're doing this manually right now, you could then take it a step above and say, okay, well, you just type in the name of a recipe and hit run, and then just let it actually just go ahead and just do it by itself. So the prompt would be written in the background and everything would happen just like, in real time. And it would just, the whole sequence basically just happen by you just hitting one button. So, that would be cool to see if we can do that. But it's also a great example of how you can maybe tie together different APIs. So I'll have a little play with that. But in the meantime, Ollie, yeah, if you want to share your screen and show
yeah, definitely. I love the
the
by the way, before I quickly share it, I do love the sequence that goes through this because we tried at the start of the video to go and get it to create an image or a video, and it wasn't even just for a lack of prompting that it then didn't know what to then go and do. It's more so from the point which is if you use these AI LLMs to your advantage by getting it to go and speak in the language that a VO would want to hear a prompt in or an ElevenLabs wants to hear a prompt in, it works. And so you can
yeah,
then just do that in one particular prompt that you just showcased there to then go and build that package up. And then, like you say, convert
yeah.
that later on down the line if it's successful into a
Yeah,
sequence where it'll be
because
easy to run.
sometimes, I mean, I think this is a good example of even what, we had this video that we did yesterday with Denny from our community, and one of the points that he made really well was that we do using AI and Claude Code, right now is a great way to just test and see what products have legs. And so you can go, all the way. Let's say you were ElevenLabs, let's say, as a company. This is sort of your end state. Like, you want to get to a state where you have a gallery and a box where you can type in things and send it, and it goes to their APIs and displays all the data here and whatever. Like, this is almost like an end goal. And sometimes what we do is we start with that end goal, and then we try to create that from the jump with AI. But what you're doing in that is you're almost underappreciating the amount of kind of individual layers that are involved to get something to work. Coincidentally, creating an amazing dish. Like, you can imagine that the taste or the visual aesthetics, but to actually get a dish on a plate, there are so many individual steps, right? Like timing, temperature, technique, and all of these things are required for you to be able to, even the ingredients you use that are required for you to then get that final product. And I think with AI, it's similar. You want to be able to understand, okay, what are all of the levers that I can pull, and how can I get to almost a version 1 to see, all right, like, I know everything I'm saying right now is possible. It's not a question of whether it's possible or not. It can absolutely be done. How quick can it be done? Okay, well, let's see. And if that is the case, we know that, we now we can almost bank that in our ability and our memory of, like, okay, we can string together a sequence of image and video within an hour or so, let's say, if that happens. But even better than that, you're able to appreciate every single step that goes into it, and then eventually you can then take off this manual Claude process and then put it into your actual application as an automated process, and so I would always use these sort of Claude AI or ChatGPT to still do manual processes to feed into my tool, and then, like, slowly optimize more. But you'll see me do that, because I'm actually showing you right now how I would think about this. And that can be applied to any type of tool that you want to build.
I love that. I'm just going to share my screen. Let me know if you can hear the audio of it as well, because that's going to be quite important, so people can really take it. Because I want everyone to understand, like, the sound effects, the song, the music, everything that comes in with it.
Even if you can't, I'll record it after and lay over in the
Sure.
edit.
Right. Let me know if you can hear this. You ready?
This flight 755 is ready to board.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Awesome. Right, let's go.
So cool.
The road hums low beneath my
Oh,
feet.
they just called my flight.
Let's go. The world turns slow.
That's right.
The air is sweet. No borderline can tell me stay. The wind just knows my name today. Carry me on wherever you run, over the hills, under the sun. Carry me on, carry me on.
Oh, it's so wonderful, isn't it?
No,
I mean,
you
maybe mute it a minute and then you play it. Like, even things like, we can't play in pause, can we? Can we play in pause in? Oh man, yeah. This is, you can't really drive back, but yeah, this is just brilliant. Like, even this itself. So when they showed that, you're saying they showed the behind the scenes of how they were doing this in real time while it was going on.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain, if we go on RPN's account here, I'm pretty certain they recorded it. If it's not on his account, they certainly recorded it on Qatar Airways.
Yeah.
Here, they just had, like, consistent updates going for their stories, but they also
Right,
showed a video just like this of the whole production of what their challenge was to go and do. And
First of all, this is such a smart move, and shows. Oh, I love it when brands are culturally tapped in, because to know that you even have to who RPN is, and the type of style that he does, and like, all of that is just brilliant. Look, it's at 45,000 likes. The visuals are brilliant. It's so important for them to, just from a brand perspective, to understand that. Like, it's very impressive, even just that alone. And then him bringing in all his amazing type of style onto it as well. Look at that.
Well, Tori was the other person, but I'm not too sure if Tori has a social media account. But this is also a really interesting point. I remember Qatar Airways when they were first putting out content, they were doing AI related content inside of what they do already. But it was like maybe to me and you and to most of the audience, we could probably tell it was AI. But to a lot of
Mhm.
people that were just scrolling naturally, they could never really tell it was actually generated of AI. I'm going to try and find some potential clips that may still be on
Yeah.
here, as I still scroll
But
through and we
it's
carry
a
on
great
chatting. But
example of yeah, I think don't you remember that when almost what was that advert, maybe early AI generative sort of like around the time that everyone just sort of started coming out with AI generative tools, maybe mid-January to early on, Coca-Cola had that
yeah,
advert. Oh, remember that one? That was
yes,
quite, and then I think now, even then, it was almost felt like, oh, some brands are doing it because maybe they've got access to more advanced AI or whatever, And now, really, the technology is more and more catching up to that type of standard and quality that anyone can generate. It's really is down to, and what this shows here, right here, is that it's down to the creatives. These guys are doing it in the sky. First of all, it's a great advert for Starlink and Qatar Airways, obviously, but just to be able to do stuff like that on the move, like you're literally doing like Hollywood level production while you're in a flight where you normally are first of all cut off from anything on the ground, and then you cut off also from network, and then the speed of the network, and so it's almost like the perfect example of just the possibilities, you know what I mean? And like the new world of being able to create such high quality creative in an environment that is not normally associated with creating that type of stuff. You need to be in a studio, or you need to be in have Mac minis and all this type of stuff going on. These guys are just chilling on a flight with super fast internet using these AI tools, man. And it kind of does, it literally says, if you can do it like this, then you have no excuse not to create things, even sitting in your home, wherever you are.
100,000,000%. This one's back in July
Yeah.
3rd,
Okay.
and I'm by the way, if this is not AI, then I apologize to them. But I'm pretty certain videos just like these ones are AI generated.
Feet.
Yeah.
Think again. Starlink Wi-Fi is now on board Qatar Airways. It's fast.
By the way, the B-roll, of course, is real, but
Oh my
the
God. No, but yeah, she was
introduction
absolutely AI. She was absolutely AI.
100% right. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, as you can see here, so this is like the kind of the traditional way that people are making content right now, where either cloning themselves and then they have themselves captured right to the bottom of the screen. So you are not the attraction point of the video. There's things going around that are happening. I know one person in particular called Seb. He's scaled his Instagram account to around 80,000 followers, and it is just his AI avatar on the bottom of his
Yeah.
screen that does lip
Yeah. Yeah.
sync, and he does all the news updates with AI, which is really, really cool. But yeah, so I think ultimately Qatar Airways have done one or two things, which is they're showcasing their ability now to. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen, sorry, but
Yeah.
they're showing the ability now that the fact you can access Starlink Wi-Fi at at such a scale is just incredible, and that's obviously the selling point of where this ad comes in to try and attract more people to
Yeah.
travel with them. But the
And
other
it's
cool thing
definitely
is,
it's definitely a good selling point, by the way, because even when I'm traveling next week and I'm going
mm,
by Emirates, I'm like, oh, if I did have super fast internet, it would be very convenient.
yeah, 100%,
um,
right?
yeah. Um,
100%. But just tapping into
okay.
the
Cool.
AI space as a whole, like Roberto's an incredible person.
Sorry, you cut up there,
PJ
Ollie.
Ace, for people that don't know, um, probably one of the best, if not the best, at the minute in time of creating these image to videos and creating general ads, movies in the AI space right now. I don't think, well, I know for a fact he wasn't the one that's been doing the Coca-Cola adverts, but he does them on a
Yeah.
level which is very, very similar for some incredible brands out there. And it's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah. These
like
guys
a
are so
content
good.
creator
It's
it's
insane.
like a content creator being pulled into JD Sports or being pulled into a football ad. It's bringing that whole world of online into the reality, which I think is just awesome.
Absolutely, man. It's the way that it's going, and I think this is just a signal of like almost, the brands putting creatives in control, which is a great thing for creatives. Like actually, like everyone that's sort of watching this video, even what you're learning here with us doing this, like a brand could pay you to do this. Like these guys are doing it in the form of a the creative visual sense of it. But even in terms of products, I'm there's so many conversation stuff that remain under wraps that I can't share too much of. But what I can say is the amount of rooms that I'm being pulled in for an AI enterprise conversation, just through me building and doing and sharing things like this, and we'll put a video out and yeah, maybe you'll get a few hundred views. It's not like we're doing like 10,000, 20,000 views or whatever, but like just by putting ourselves out there and sharing content and showing what we do, things like this has such a great impact of people then say, hey, why don't you try this with our brand? And then you're being pulled into like, these amazing companies and things that they're doing because they just want to introduce AI in some way. So it's whether you take the leaf out of, RPN's book, some of the stuff that we're doing here, it's just a time to be able to learn these things, man, and to be able to put yourself out there and showcase what you're doing and just experimenting. And that's what wins, which I think is fantastic. Oh, by the way, we got a simple recipe page set up here, but
cool.
we actually don't want any of this content. So I'm just going to ask you to clear the content on the page. And then what we're going to do now is, so we're going to let's try and see how speedily we can put something together. The only thing that should take time is like Claude Code, writing code. So yeah, I just want to clear that page. So I don't want anything on there. Perfect. I just want a blank page. Okay, awesome. Now what we're going to do is, here's my file AI API key. Oh, oops. I keep forgetting I might get this wrong. Sorry. Yeah, option. The new line button on Claude Code just keeps changing all the time, which is really annoying. Here's my file API key. I want to on the page. I want a on the page. I want a let's see, a left sidebar section. That will have that will be separated for each step of the recipe. There will be input. There'll be input fields. There will be 2 input fields per step. So video prompt and narration. Let's see. I should be have the first step open by default, but allow me to click add step to add a new step as well. You don't need let's see. Okay. All right, let's go a little bit further. See, because I'm giving it a UI instruction, but also because I'm giving my API key, I'm going to tell it to. So this is how I would install an API. So I would say, we want to use this API. I'll do it fast, and I'll just literally copy the instructions.
Okay, interesting.
So instructions, paste. So this is quite a messy way of prompting, by the way. Like, but I'm just doing it for the sake of like asking the job done, but also to show that you can, in a messy way, get a concept set up as well, and then like iterate and clean it up as you go. So basically, I'm just saying on the left sidebar that will have each the 2 steps. So if you see here, basically we have a video prompt and a narrator prompt. We don't really need the step number, step title, and all this stuff right now. Like, I've just put that there because I was just sort of freestyling here. But really what we want is a video prompt for the VO generation, narration prompt for ElevenLabs. So I want you to set up the UI layout as per my description, and an API route using file AI and VO3. VO3. Once you've done that, use the following prompt to run a test here in terminal so I can see the video output. Okay, and I'll just give it like this video prompt here: smooth overhead camera movement, starting wide to show the entire ingredient setup on white marble countertop, and then slowly pushing into a highlight each ingredient group. A woman's hand with cream linen apron sleeves, visibly gently arrange the final bowl. Okay, so it actually needs to know the ingredients. So I'm going to say here, the video instruction needs to be highly detailed and actually mention the specific ingredients that need to be visible in this shot. So let's see. Is too vague. Okay, so let's see if we can just be a bit more specific. Because what we're trying to do here is like, if we're going to send a prompt to VO, it needs to have like very detailed context of like what it's actually trying to see here now. So what it's done is the video prompt is much longer because it's actually taking the ingredients and then baking it into let's see, into the actual prompt. So like teaspoon baking soda, you know, it's very important that it has these details. So now hopefully we can get a much clearer example of this specific step, which is gathering ingredients or whatever. So let's see. Okay, so cool, let it run. So let's see what it does here. So we should, once this is run, we should basically have this page, have a little bit of a setup where we can go and basically paste in our own video prompts and narration prompts. And then what we're doing right now is we're getting it set up our API inside of Claude code, and then we're getting it to test our API inside of the terminal. And that's another good sort of way of, again, breaking your test down into like simpler formats, is giving it an API key, saying to it, this is what I want to do, create the API route for me. So it's actually going to create it so it exists, but run a test here in terminal to make sure everything works fine. The reason that's important is because that allows Claude Code to basically talk to itself. So it creates this loop where it can create an API for you, a connection to, let's say, File AI and VO3, and all I had to give it was my instruction, the API key. And then if you don't do that, it will write the code and it will say to go to your browser and you'll be testing. And if something doesn't fail, or if something does fail or isn't quite right, you're sort of talking to Claude Code and giving it errors. Whereas in this format, you're saying you go ahead and test it yourself. And so what it should give me as an output after that single prompt I sent it is a video file based on that prompt that I just sent. And that should be good enough for me to be able to see if it works or not. And then I can say, okay, let's take it to the next step, which is now create a button on my page where if I hit generate, video, I want you to take the video, the prompt that I put into like step 1, and then output a video and display it on the screen. And let's say it can do that. We now know that, okay, it can do the first step, which is take one input field, go through the API and create a video with VO, which equals the video we see on the screen, for example. Then I can take a step further and say, okay, well, now I'm going to add 2 steps, and I want you to now generate 2 videos and then use FFmpeg, which will install to stitch the 2 videos together, and then show me the output of the 2 videos instead of just a single video. And so now you can see here's testing the video generation. So again, like, just for it to be able to, execute prompts like this quickly is just mind-blowing in itself, right? Like, it's crazy. It can just take a simple concept like that. And I mean, if I would use the word API sometimes with developers, if I said, I want to create an API connection to such and such, it would be like, okay, like we have to understand the infrastructure, documentation, all this type of stuff. And it's like, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff here. Just Claude just gets on with it. It's already testing it.
Is there a world where instead of having to put the ingredients into that prompt, because let's just say in hindsight, let's say it comes back and says,
yeah,
no, I was gonna say, let's just say it comes back and says like the prompt was too detailed because there's too much information into it. Is there a world where you can link it to that website that's already pre-made? So for example, if you've got that recipe distributed on Guilty Chef,
yes,
is there a way where you can just link that link there and just say extract the information here?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, how would you think about doing that?
My process would come, which is a very, very similar prompting process, where I'd go into Claude and say, this is what I want to go and build. I want the outputs for VO, ElevenLabs, And then I would say, instead of putting the ingredients in, I would then take that prompt, put it into Claude Code, and then I would also then enter, new kind of paragraph, extract the information from this URL link where it declares ingredients and add in those relevant stages based upon the output on this website. Because what we would expect is Guilty Chef also has the ingredients, but also has the instructions, right? So it'll also say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And I'll try and get it to match up. And that's the thing that I think, would it be able to translate that information across both parties?
Yeah, so the missing piece in sort of what you're saying is you kind of just need a layer above, again, thinking of it in like kind of a stack, you almost need a layer above the recipe generation, which is fetching the data, right? And so for that,
Sure.
we'd use Firecrawl, for example. You type in the URL, it could maybe fetch it. So absolutely, we can even try that as well. So yeah, absolutely possible, man.
Firecrawl. That is
But,
the
yeah.
it's strange having to I need to get into the mode of declaring it. Firecrawl's now just ingrained into me as if it's like some sort of tool that I just
Yeah,
naturally have on my
so
browser.
cool. Okay, here we go. Oh, I told you. Look.
Yeah, it is pretty high quality.
Okay, amazing. All right, cool. So now what we've seen here is the API is working. What great, like the detail of like this, it is all the ingredients. You know, like how good the eggs and flour looks like. Oh man, I'm almost like, I need to rebuild. Every time we do demos, it just throws me for six because I'm like, I need to rebuild everything. Like imagine creating a directory where you've got, you can also make, we're gonna have to do a fat Guilty Chef rebuild inside the community as well, aren't we? Because
This is why I lose hours in the day, because I end up spending time on
no,
free
it winds me
pigs
up.
fields.
I almost no. The biggest issue I have right now in my life is that I have too many ideas and not enough time to execute. And all of the ideas are like in my head are so viable, like the best to buy we're building right now. But it's like it doesn't even take long to build. You know, the entire thing can be done in a week, but it's just like the zone it puts me in is so euphoric and full of such levels of dopamine and excitement that nothing else in my life comes close to that type of excitement than when I'm building. And so, and as exciting as my life is, you know, I'm like, you know, credit to everyone and everything in my life because my life is, you know, beautiful and I'm so blessed. But it just, for me, it's so mind blowing building with the AI that even how incredible regular life is, it still feels so dull in comparison to when I build it with AI. So it's a weird thing to explain because it's almost like it's too great of a feeling that I'm going to have too much joy in doing. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. That I almost never want to leave that zone. So if I start building, I don't want to do anything else, you know. And I told you before, like I am working to the point that like the kids need to go to bed, and it's like no, that's awful. Like I need to go down and like spend dinner with my family, but I'm almost like just sitting there, like just tapping away. And as soon as they're asleep, I'm like tapping away. It's like it just engrosses me, man. It's but I love it. But I just, man, it's almost all happen. This is why it's so beautiful for someone like you right now, Ollie. You know, you're 24, you got all the time. Yeah, man, you need to be just building, locking your door, and only leaving if you need to go to the bathroom and eat.
Don't worry.
Even that is questionable. I'd probably put on diapers if I was you.
That's a pretty soon reality, I think. I'll be honest with you, like I get into these stages where AI is. I made a can you call it a tweet still? Put a tweet out the other day on my my X account. I was like, although all these products and solutions are there, it doesn't mean you have to use them all. But I will also counteract that by saying you should at least dip your toe to try them, because I've had many a times where, like, even when I said to you the other day around creating these superhuman-like realistic AI avatars, like it's so achievable. It's not that you have to then go and build some product and service around it, but knowing you have that skill, you can then convert that maybe once you've produced a site or a business plan into an ad. So now you know you can have ads that have superhuman-like AI avatars inside of them that can go and speak, interact, do with these different features that just becomes so realistic. And going back to the creation it's just made for us, right? So, I mean, you would expect to see that in a high quality ad, that the definition of it was incredible. If you wanted to go stages further, you can just go back into that creation and just like tweak a few things. So if you wanted flour spread across the tabletop so it looked a little bit more messy and etc., you may want to wait for a stage later down the line when you actually start creating that recipe, right? But if you wanted to, I recognized on the jug it said buttermilk. Now, of course,
Yeah.
we probably don't need to distribute that, but it's such an easy tweak because you just go
Yeah.
back into it and you then you change the parameters of it. Or if you had a brief from a brand or it was your own brand and you did want to keep buttermilk there, then you can actually then go in, upload the logo you wanted it to,
Yeah.
and then actually extract their
Yes.
real life logo and have that on the product there.
So,
So there's
so
some
what you're seeing
easy
now,
tweaks.
what you're seeing kind of happen in this area of Claude Code is effectively what this is. And so as soon as I've typed in here and hit this, what's happening here is the prompt, which is essentially this part that I just gave Claude Code, is the equivalent of what you'd be putting in here, for example, and hitting send. Now, anything you do here, whether it's a start frame you add, whether it's like a dimension you change or whatever, when you press send, all of that is being packaged in a single prompt or parameters that are going to that specific model. And so that's saving you the headache of figuring it all out because you're seeing it in a beautiful UI. But when that all happens, that goes off. It's basically doing what we just saw, it testing the API, and then is rendering it in a beautiful interface like this instead of on here, we just had a link, for example, we open in the browser. But in what you're seeing in front of you right now is a bare bones version of what's happening here. And so that also goes to show you that, yes, you can package it however you like, and so we're working a little bit on the packaging now. So what I just asked it to do is, if you just saw a minute ago, the steps were in the middle, but I said I want the steps to also be a sidebar. So you can see you can click between different steps. And I want you to just create a placeholder for me for a video, and so now I'll be able to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit add a video prompt here, hit generate video. I want to see the video actually load over here now, right? And so here's what I'm going to go and say. I'm going to say, now,
Have you just built this, by the way, with Claude Code?
yeah, this is just right
This
now.
whole site is that's the one-shot version of what you've just done.
Yeah.
That's
So
insane.
now let's simply make the step one video prompt process work. I want to be able to paste in a prompt, then hit generate video, and then the video placeholder should show a loading state. You will use some form of polling to check if the video is ready, and then display it in the placeholder. Okay, so it's as simple as that, what I'm asking you to do. So now, again, incrementally, what you want to do is you're kind of, I've explained this before, but in some ways it's a form of like mitigating risk, but in more of a positive kind of way of explaining it is you're sort of validating parts of the process as you're going, right? And so from the mitigating risk aspect, what I mean is instead of just giving it one large vision of, I want to build a system that allows me to create a recipe video, from a URL, that's way too much for it to understand. And this is, again, why we created the 5-day sprint and our school community and everything like that, is because we really want everyone to understand how to break these, somewhat complex visions into simpler steps. And that then explains what I mean by sort of validating the process. And so what we're doing is we're breaking it down into, you've seen a series of steps, which is, okay, we've got Claude writing a prompt. Awesome. Read the prompt. Well, it's not quite clear enough because the ingredients aren't baked into it. So we need to make sure that we refine the prompt a little bit. Okay, that's one version of like iteration or validating the process. Then we actually got Claude Code to create an API route to generate a video. I'm just looking at it in raw format in the browser. It gave us URL. Awesome. Video generation works. Great. So now we kind of can put a tick mark on that part of the process and say, okay, we now have an API inside our project that can generate video. And now that means that if I went and just copied this text and gave it to Claude, well, I should be able to copy any text from this video prompt and put it here and be able to click generate video and have it generate video. And so that's what I'm saying to it now. I'm saying I want to now be able to hit this button, put the video prompt here into step one, and for this to be loading and then display the video. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, now I want to add a second step. And then I want to be able to paste the second part here, generate video. And so when I do that, I want you to be able to generate both of them and then stitch them two together. And so once we've then got that sequence, we now know that, okay, well, we can now scale this out to say, if it has 10 steps, just do the process for however many videos and steps there are, effectively, right? So right now we're only doing it for step 1. It said it's ready, so we hit generate video, and now generating the video. So again, just in the time I'm explaining that, it's built this, right? Because this wasn't working. It wasn't even a part of the thing. And so again, this is the equivalent of the ElevenLabs. If I typed in here and it said generate video, the same thing is happening in our own project now. So you have kind of your own version of a product, ElevenLabs, whatever it is. You can wrap this however you want. You can call it wherever you want. Underlying, it can do whatever it wants. It could be a learning resource, maybe for people to create learning videos. It could be whatever, kid story app or whatever you want to create. But the fundamentals of it is a prompt model output, right? And then you can choose to design the system however you want. And that's kind of what we're doing here now. And then layer different APIs onto it. So we'll try and layer the narration side to get ElevenLabs, generate the audio, etc.
That is crazy. So, yeah. So before we recorded this session, I was saying to you, Omar, like I always think of whenever anything's built, newly dropped, new features, I always never look at them for face value because you can get. Hang on, we'll go back to this. I want to see this video first.
And we haven't even kept any database yet, by the way. So it's not.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how it's. Do I have to hit play? There. Cool.
Oh, don't do it.
Okay, so just loading it, obviously but let's just click this because it'll probably open direct URL, probably quicker. Yeah. Can you hear the audio?
Yeah, I just about. But I
there's-
didn't hear all of it, but I could just
It's like,
hear the.
no, you're literally hearing the whispering sounds and the ramekin being put down on the table it's nuts. And it's consistent with the character as well from the first thing. And that's because we told it in this prompt, obviously, to do that. So we haven't even gone to town with the prompt yet. This was just messing around in Claude while you're chatting. I'm going to create a video. Like, we haven't even, for lack of a better term, baked the prompt yet. This is, again, very, very, very surface level work we're doing. Like, there's so many levels of how deep you can go. So now let's say, okay, so I generated that. Awesome. Now what we want to do is we want to go and I'm going to say, I want you to create a 16:9 placeholder below, above the video prompt section in the single step input sidebar. Add a title for video output and display a placeholder. When the video starts generating for that single step, have the loading, etc., happen inside this placeholder. And then allow the video to be played there once ready. Clear the 16:9 video. Don't display any media in the main content. For now, just keep that as a placeholder. Just keep it as a placeholder.
So what's going on here, Omar?
So what I'm saying is, so I'm basically trying to structure this a little bit, but think a little bit ahead of the game. So what I'm saying now is because now I can see myself working to an output where what we want to see here is the final video, right? The final recipe video. But we have individual steps going on. And so I want to contain from a UI level as I'm building this, let's say I was actually using this as a tool. Let's say we have step 2 here now. Like which this basically was this video here will keep changing depending on the steps we're on. But what I want is I just want this to be the final video in this view. What I'm saying to it right now is create a section just above here that says video output, and whatever we're seeing here for this step, just let it happen here, like you're seeing there. You know, so basically, yeah. So I can basically see this step's content there. So if I go to video 2, there's no output yet. So basically, I can control what I'm working on within this step over here, and then this will become blank in a second. And I want this to remain blank because I only want to see the final output of like the stitched together elements. The reason I'm also saying that is because I'm kind of giving it a place to also store each step's video so then I can tell it what stitch. So the next step we're going to do really quickly is we're going to go to our database. So I've got a database here called Canvas. So I'm going to say, I want you to, let's see, tables, to storage. Let's create a storage bucket, new bucket, public bucket. Let's call it recipe videos.
I personally blame, by the way, Sora and Nano Banana for producing a spaceship character and a rubbish video of cutting up onions, because we've now had to go the full length and just outplay them and go and build our very own.
We have to. I want
We
you
didn't
to
have to, but they left us no choice, mate. And now we're going into Superbase, right?
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is, what I want to do is generate the video, store it into my storage on my Superbase, which is my database, and then I want it to display those videos here, because right now it's using a temporary URL from Vio, which means that link will expire. And so it's just an important practice to be able to store all your data. So I'm just showing that process here. And then what we'll do is we'll have it kind of run for each different step of the recipe. Great. And then next step we're going to do is ask it to stitch together, and then we should be able to see a final recipe output. And then we could obviously, do the narration or whatever else if we wanted to. So let's see how we get on with this. So it's storing, it's just checking my Superbase right now. Okay, so it sees recipe videos, awesome. So that's kind of a way for me to just know that, okay, it's got connection to my Superbase. And again, it has connection to my Superbase because I used 5-day sprint. And when I went to a new project, we have a step here for Superbase where you can connect it to your Superbase. And so when you load a project in Claude Code, it's already got your database set up, which makes things so much easier. So as you can see, I'm basically ready to go. I don't have to do all the connecting up of Superbase. So awesome, recipe videos, great. Okay, now when a recipe step video is generated, store the video in this Superbase bucket, and then use that URL to display in my UI. Let's see. Yeah, so cool. Let's see.
Anyone watching this video, by the way, that wants to do this, I was just thinking as you were typing that out, this is perfect for training companies. Like, distributing information out and then having the ability to have a video side by side with it that can do the thing it's explaining is sensational.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. You could, and again, like for someone to create an interface like this, like even after the video we did on in our school community last week, we did a video on we were basically building a bit of Teeny Tales. Even that, I was like, man, I could just release that product and spend a couple of days on it. And really similar to, I think I explained shots.so before, which I really love. I really wanted to create a product for a long time. That's a beautiful interface, but lands in the product the way this does. Look, you just land in the product. Like awesome, no sign up, no upsell, no nothing, just use the product. And I love that. And I want to create something like that. I think Teeny Tales is a good example of that. But also something like this is another good example of it. It just goes to show that you can just be smashing out ideas, find a good domain, and just launch a product and basically just have it on there and say to the public, just use it. There's no login, no nothing, just build within a couple of hours, go in there, create your training programs, whatever it is, and you can be working in the background to make the prompts better and whatever else. But really, it can be a valuable product that people can just straight away be using. So, yeah, man, it's just mind blowing. Any use case. There's so many use cases. Like we're just doing in a recipe format, and so I mean, let's say you built a product like what we're doing right now. Let's say you literally copied what I'm doing verbatim. You could do that. You could go to recipe websites, all recipes, Bon Appetit, Tasty, whatever it is, and say, hey, make it look nice. Say, hey, I create a system for you. All you got to do is paste your URL and it will generate a recipe video based on what you're doing that you can now use on socials straight away. Take their logo, put their logo on top and say, you know, Tasty, Bon Appetit, you know, Eatery, whatever it is, and say, I'll put your literally put a logo there, create a URL for them with a unique login, which you can quickly do. So here's your login. I want you to just go in. You don't have to login bit, just give them the URL. Go on the page, and we've already preloaded it with your. In fact, we're live fetching the most recent recipes that you're putting on your site. So go on there, just pick a recipe that you want. For example, this morning, you guys, this could be a cold email. A cold email could go out and say, hey, you know, whatever, find the head of content. Hey, Sylvia, I noticed you guys dropped a fire recipe for, you know, whatever, steak ciabatta this morning. I've built a tool that I also noticed that you're not, there's no like rich video for every single recipe, but I'm a big kind of cook myself, a home cook, and I love to watch your content, but I'm always craving a video that I can watch. So I want to read the recipe. I also build AI. So I went ahead, created a tool where basically, if you guys open it up, or if you click this link right now, all of your latest recipes are on there, like the steak ciabatta that you just posted 3 hours ago. I've generated that video already, but you can go down and generate any one you want. And if you click generate, it will automatically take the ingredients of the recipe, it will take the recipe steps, and it will turn it into a video that you can now use for social media. We can also give you a story version of it. We can even add captions to it. We can add narration to it. All of these other elements of it we can add, but here's a prototype of something I put together. I'd love to collaborate with you on it further if it's something that entices you, you know, and you send it out to, you can send it to restaurants, you know, whatever you want. But this could be the example of how you'd write someone like that, how you're actually saying to them, hey, here's a product problem I see. Here's something that we've solved. Here's something I've created. This is a perfect example of a project that you can have for one day where you just wake up in the morning and you're just doing what I'm doing right here. You're building something within, look, I'm building it within, it's only been an hour. So let's say really 40 minutes to get to the point that we're at, without all the chat in between. If you just lock in, I would even say 30 minutes, you can get to this. You know, you're telling me you could be sitting there faffing about with, well, how do I cold email someone? How do I get their attention? All this type of stuff that people do, when you can literally spend 30 minutes, build this. You can literally build this, a system, brand it with their logo, go on Google, get the logo, slap their logo on it, create a series of URLs for everyone you want to outreach, go to Apollo.io, find the direct person you want to get in touch with, send it to the entire company, go really, you know, Richard Branson, you know, guerrilla marketing with it, send it to everyone in the company. If you're creating something sick like this, is worth showing off, send it to everyone. What's the worst? Were they going to complain to someone and say, oh, we got too much, everyone in the company got an email for something really cool that we could all use right now? No one's going to do that. If anything, it's going to get to a CEO or someone that wants to get in touch with you. Get it out there. And that, again, like I'm saying, that process is probably another 30 minutes or 1 hour. So kind of like in an 8-9 hour day, not to be crazy about it, but you could definitely be taking 2 or 3 shots a day, you know, with different ideas and different types of products you're building in different niches. You could even take one product and have like you're saying, a recipe version of it, or take Ollie's example and have an education version of it, go to all the training companies out there, like literally pick your industry out of thin air and just take the same product and package it and just shoot it off to all these guys. And, you know, like very easily that could just be like something that you can monetize.
There's not really much more you can add on to the end of that. That is full blown something someone could take action on today. There's
absolutely
a handful of examples. I don't know if you remember, I sent you across a couple of weeks back that animation of that AI avatar lifting weights.
Yeah.
You can go to PTs, you can go to companies just like this. Like, you think of all your favorite people online right now that are producing gym related content, whatever niche, whatever industry they do stuff within, and you can say to them, you keep posting content on social media, and when you post a video out there, there'll be a trigger that happens and goes across to a website that we're going to build for you. It's then going to relay the instructions of that that one session, and also alongside that, have independent videos where you can clone them into an AI avatar or just create a completely different neutral
Yeah,
character for them and have those videos that go alongside the instructions for what the practice actually is. And that is just
absolutely.
a really simple idea. Simple.
Kind of what you're doing is reverse engineering distribution. You know,
Yes.
we're in a space right now where it's just whenever I say this, the problem, it's not even a problem, it's a good problem to have, but it annoys me because there is no amount of hyperbole or sequence of words that I can use that really explain how remarkable this stuff is. And it's like, it bothers me that someone will be scrolling and watching something like this and will almost be like, yeah, cool, and then scroll past and then watch like some silly TikTok or reel that is completely useless, but just gives them a giggle. And it's like, no, 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 no. Just pause for a minute. Actually think about the words that are coming out of my mouth and what I'm showing you on the screen. Like, you can reverse engineer distribution by using this one skill where you can execute a multi-billion-dollar business opportunity. And I say multi-billion because when you're talking about your ElevenLabs, your Claude AIs, all these type of companies, under the hood is just an LLM model. Like, they are multi-billion-dollar companies. Yes, there's marketing, distribution, whatever else is on top of it. But what we're saying is reverse engineer the distribution. Go to the distribution, find that influencer, find that brand, build the stuff that they're not able to build because you learning how to do this, whether using the 5-day sprint or not, just to be able to have the skill of going in and actually creating products like this in a split second, in 30 minutes or an hour, and shooting off to them, man, like, you take your shots at goal and one of them will land, and that's your distribution taken care of. And you could do it in one area with multiple people. You could have a product that could be licensed to every single PT, could be licensed to every single restaurant, could be licensed to every single tourism board, you name it. Like, you can go and take over entire sectors with one tool and just plugging yourself in with where the distribution is, because they need people like you who can build things using AI right now, which they're completely incapable of doing internally. And most likely, if there is someone like you who can build products like this internally right now, they will not be at that company. They'll be building things themselves, and everyone that we see in the 5-day sprint right now is that person who is very talented. They're inside their companies. We've got people that are from Fortune 500 companies inside a 5-day sprint who are learning how to build so that they can not build for them, but build for themselves, um, man,
It's
sorry.
it's half an hour
Yeah.
worth of. I mean, we've been rolling now for just over an hour. I mean, the first half was going through different tools, different videos. This is now coming up to 20 minutes worth of finding this Claude prompt,
Good.
reiterating it, going into 5-day sprint. So what's taking 15, 20, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, 30 minutes to go and get the first stage built up. There's no reason why in a day you couldn't have this. And then all you have to then go and do is put the instruction in finally, which says, I'm going to go and send this to 15, 20 different companies. Each one has their own designated logo. You might want to go and put their brand colors behind the scenes of it, and you just ship it off to them. Like you say, that cold email goes out to them,
Yes.
find a way to target them, and you just share across. There is no better email to receive if you're a business owner that shows what it is you're actually trying to do rather than just put it into words. Like, having a demo or a link to click on where they can then go and play around with it and come back to you and go, we love this, is the
Yes.
easiest way to grab someone's attention, because they're not having to guess. Because the thoughts they have in their head when they see a written cold email come into their head, they go, could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be this? And then all of a sudden they see it and their expectation then plummets. Whereas now they're going to see it for face value and then go, well, could it do this? And
Well, the
if it can
visuals
do
tell
that,
themselves. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And
How
you're
did that video go, by the way?
Sorry?
How did that video go, by the way?
What you know what's really cool is the prompt said, look towards the end, it said camera ends on a split composition showing both the timer and covered bowl. And so this is what I loved about it is he actually did everything. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wow.
yeah, the timer's a bit weird, but it's still really cool how it had a consistency with it as well.
That's
But
that
again,
30, 25-year kind of
yeah,
timer.
I don't know what time, but you could tweak the prompt and just say make the timer modern or whatever. But it's really cool. And the only thing is, when I looked at the database, then it stored the video, but it stored it 5 times, and so that's why I just asked Claude what was going on here. So the issue is cleared. 5 identical files were uploaded within 3 seconds. This indicates a polling mechanism is calling for the upload multiple times. The problem is that the polling continues to check the status even after completion. and each poll then finds completed stage triggers another upload. Problem is that each time we poll video, okay, so it's whatever's doing is fixed it. So fixed request ID caching now tracks. So I don't even understand what it did there per se, but what I do know is it worked. So what we're now going to do is let's take the second step. And see if the second step, another step works. Let's just take an example here and then see if we can stitch together two of them. Generate video.
Omar,
Yeah.
that timer in the original image, that video, sorry,
Mhm.
is there a world where, let's say you target a company and they sell their own products? So let's say they sell their own cutlery, they sell their own timers, egg timers. They have all these different products themselves they sell away from the recipes they distribute out. Is there a way you can grab those products and have those as part of the videos? Is there a way
Yes,
we can build
probably.
like a
Maybe
database
some
behind
sort of
it?
image reference or whatever. Yeah, we're seeing videos like that, haven't we? That people have been putting out where they do things like that. And what you sometimes see is people doing one-off things like, oh, I created an advert for whatever, IKEA or Nike or whatever. They'll do one brand. I mean, what would be really cool is, man, stop doing this to me, Ollie.
I'm trying. This is me being tame, by the way. My mind could go anywhere with this. It's
I
scary.
was gonna say, like, you could kind of like get a domain which is like I don't know, for argument's sake, let's say you had brandboard.com, you know what I mean? And really you go to it, you've already pre-plugged in like the best brands in the world. A bit like Mobbin is for like design research. You plugged in the best brands and you can hit up the CMOs and kind of go on the page. It's got their brand on there, but you've plugged in the brand where it's done the research on their products, done the research on their e-com store, whatever it is. Maybe you even emulate the e-com store onto this thing, which is a bit like a Pinterest, and they can click on things and for each product is creating assets automatically. So just getting like live asset generation based on, so let's say you got a product on your store, the assets are just going to be created for you just by you going on this one site. It's already ready for you, There's so many examples of things that you could do like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it did it again. So 5 times upload. So, okay, let's not worry about that too much for now, but anyway. So cool. This mad artificial intelligence, you know that? Like, what? Are you feeling okay? Oh
I'm
my
actually going on GoDaddy right now to find if brand board's available.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably too good of a domain to be available, I reckon.
Honestly.
Let's see. Okay, let's not worry about it. So now what I'm going to say is, okay. Now I want you to remove the generate video button from each individual step. Instead, you will add a generate video button below add step in the first sidebar. When pressed, I want you to concurrently generate all the videos for each step and display them in their individual UI when ready. Once all videos are ready, I want you to take the URL for each step and then use FFmpeg to stitch them together and create a sequence. This sequence, while this step is happening, the main page content 16:9 frame will show generating sequence and then display the final sequence there, which should also be stored to Superbase. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to see if right now we can create individual videos and we have generate video button here. What I'm saying is remove this video from these individual steps, place a single video here. So like basically in like the global hierarchy. And then I want to be able to add multiple steps and I want to hit generate video and I want to wait and see each individual video simultaneously be generating that I can see here. Once they're all generated, I want you to then take FFmpeg and then take every single URL of the video, stitch them together programmatically. So it's basically running like a Premiere Pro editing sequence for you by itself. and then display the final video for me over on this side. So that's what we're asking it to do. So we'll let it do that, and then we should be able to do it. And right now, by the way, this also goes to show, look, sometimes you might have dealt with things with Claude or Cursor where it kind of trips up, it has errors, it has issues. Bear in mind, like, I've been through that so often, and the reason we've created the 5-day sprint framework is to allow you to just not have those challenges. Like, first of all, we have the community where we have tons of support and classes where everyone's sort of learning together, and I'm showing you how I'm actually building out entire projects and how I'm using Claude Code and Cursor, how we're actually setting up an environment, how we're installing the 5-day sprint framework. So everything is really like shown step by step. I'm taking a lot of care in like every single part of the process, and we have Ollie in there, you know, every single day providing support, jumping on calls with people in the community, which is brilliant. But that's how, just by learning these sort of processes that we're showing you, is how you can overcome all other challenges that can put you off on vibe coding. So I would definitely encourage you guys that, you know, if you haven't started playing around, definitely go on 5daysprint.com, go on our school community, jump in, and it will like get you to be building like this very, very quickly, and with all the support that you need as well.
Insane. By the way,
Yeah.
brandboard.co is £977. And then if you wanted to go reverse, which was boardbrand.com, it's around £6,000.
Yeah, I would. You could definitely do something like Brandle or whatever, like, you know, brand box, brand AI, you know, whatever. You figure out something of like, yeah.
It's just insane. Like, but this is whether we like. By the way, just for context for everyone that's still watching, the start of this video, we were like, we're just gonna just create. Like, we had no intention of what we were gonna go and do. We were just saying to ourselves, ElevenLabs is kind of what we're fundamentally gonna base this off. ElevenLabs' videos weren't perfect, so what did we do? We just decided to create our own. And we are now at a stage where there is a full-fledged business here again, where if someone wants to take this off our hands and go and do this, we'd love to see how far you get with it.
Yeah, but it's also cool because through these experiments, like the way I'm very much, and a huge part of the community that we want to start unlocking, definitely the top of the year, is like the marketing AI, you know. So a version of this is marketing AI. Like, we're showing almost a standalone version of this, but definitely through the best to buy process. When we've created a directory, hey, we want to be able to go in and generate content based off the actual, you know, places that we're looking at. So how can we do that? How can you actually create social content that we can use to distribute across Reels, maybe things that we could use in YouTube Shorts, you know, maybe things that we can even use on the actual listings on the directory. Like, even videos like this, like we're saying, this is a tool that I could use on Guilty Chef to then on the actual page have a video of the recipe, you know, which you can use a YouTube API to upload every single video to YouTube. So now you could create viral videos like this. Like, this is bonkers, man. Like, if you want to create a faceless channel, this is the way to create a faceless channel. This is what you need to do to create a faceless channel. Like, we're actually just giving a whole demo on how to create a faceless channel right now to just be printing cash.
Yes. And if you didn't want to make a faceless channel, you can go and target brands, which either or works.
Mate, it's all crazy. Okay, so let's restart the server. This is my special little command. Okay. And let's see what we're working with. Okay, cool. So step 1, let's go. Let's see. And second step, I'll add 3 steps, and just so it doesn't become too long. Step 2, add step. Step 3. Okay, we'll do one more.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering now, generate all videos. Okay, so all of these are now generating, you can see simultaneously. That's good. They'll be stored to our database, and then this will start going after. So you can see here in your logs as well what's going on. So we can see that, okay, it's going out and generating, sending the prompts. Great. So we'll let it do that.
I haven't told you this yet. Month of December, I'm going to try and begin and launch a product from the 1st to the 31st. So the idea is by using the framework to try and do that. And I'm watching this right now, just going like, I might be overshooting the fact that I need a month. It
Oh yeah,
generally could.
no.
It could be so much. I mean, it
Yeah,
will
yeah,
be so much less.
yeah. It's just, and by the way, even what I just showed now, like we're using one API. File AI gives you one API key, but there are multiple models in here, right? That you can be using. So like, so many generative AI tools, that you can be playing around with. Image editing can be done programmatically, and when we say programmatically, we literally is what you're seeing right now, editing a whole video by itself, type of thing. Okay, great. So 3 video generated, 4 video generated, awesome. So now this should start going. Let's see what happens here. Okay, dokes. Let's see if the sequence starts coming together. That's cool. So this is now the new API we told it to in the last prompt was to use FFmpeg, which is this open source library to stitch together videos and audio and stuff like that. So let's see if it can create a single video for us. So let's see. So hopefully in a moment this starts running.
There's also a lot of layers as well that we, of course, haven't got all the time right now to
Yeah.
cram this into one video. But like, if you wanted serious character consistency and it didn't give you it in the prompts, you can either reiterate it in the prompt, which is you can say to Claude, each video has to have either the same backdrop or it has to have the same character consistency, and it'll start modifying the prompts towards it. If not, there is a world where you've just seen us go through that whole stage of where you added that video output in. You
Yeah.
could say you want image references. So therefore, you could upload a person into it, and it stores it in the database behind the scenes in Supabase. So therefore, you have that consistency insurance every single time.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many. Again, if every single part of this prompt can be behind the closed doors, so you can just pick out. So let's say you took overhead camera angle. It's every single part of this is a variable. So you could take that and build a UI where you could have drop downs for camera angle, right? And so the same way you have drop downs for aspect ratio is the equivalent of having in a prompt. So you could have a drop down in your thing for camera angle, and you could have a series of camera angles, and effectively just replacing that part of the prompt when someone's sending it. And even if you want to take that, a step above, is like these can then start to be those premium features of your application that people are behind a paywall. So, like if you want to change a camera angle, that's like having a subscription to do that. Or maybe if you want to change lighting or whatever, but it's all based on the prompt, and the prompt can be as long as you want. And so, it's just, like I said, words don't do it justice. I just hope you guys get it.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're quickly going to see what's going on here. I just want to stitch the videos together. So I see all the videos generated and stored, but it's still got the generating videos spinner going in the first call. I don't see the video sequence being generated. I am still also seeing 5 videos running, being stored at the same time. So here's what I'm going to do now, just to make it actually understand what I need to do. I want you to run the entire process as a sequence here in terminal and store to Supabase. That includes generating each video, which should store as a single URL, and then a combined sequence using FFmpeg, which should also store to Supabase. Then show me the output. Let's see. I want to run the entire process in terminal. And then I just give it the prompts. Here are the prompts for the 4 steps. Option enter. Prompt 1, paste. Prompt 2. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically getting it. So I'll explain it in just a second. Prompt 3. Prompt 4. So what I'm saying to it is, what I'm noticing is, okay, it's hanging on generate video. Okay, so that's already a problem because we generate the videos and it should start the sequence. So we know it's doing some of it, which is great, but we need to generate the video. We're also noticing it's still storing the videos 5 times in a database. Yeah, it should only be storing it once. So it said, I didn't quite understand the explanation when Claude gave it to us, but it's fine. The point is it should be storing once. So what now we're doing is we're giving it the problem. So as you saw me just say to Claude is, I want you to basically create a test that you're going to run yourself. So that process I explained at the start, which is you create this loop internally inside terminal so you can test yourself. And the output, because it's connected to my Supabase, the output should be 1 file stored per video. Great. And then we should have 1 sequence of all the videos. And so I'm going to get it to do it itself. Once it does it itself, it will be able to understand that, first of all, where it's going wrong, so where the issue is, so it can test it itself. It can then fix the issue, and then it can go and modify that, and then say to me, okay, it's working now. And then I should be able to do it on my front end myself and have it working. And so this is a great way to basically send it off and do its own thing, go have a cup of tea, come back, and it's basically fixed it for you. It's just like a great hack to be able to fix problems instead of going like, oh, what's this? What's this step going on? Adding logs to your browser. You don't need to do all that type of stuff. Just get it to create a test script. Now I'm doing it in a messy version where it's just creating the tests here in directory. But what you should really tell it to do is to set up a test folder inside your project, and then, so it can delete the files after because they won't be needed. See, it seems API key by issue. Let me fix the script, use the environment variable. Cool.
It's crazy the amount of detail it also gives it back to you. Like, I wholeheartedly hold my hand up when I say this. I have no real interest in understanding all the stuff behind the scenes to the nth degree. But what I also am very cautious of is knowing that it's staying en route. And by me understanding the process, the more I do these projects, the more we all do these projects, the closer you get to understand behind the scenes of how processes work. So when it says to you, the API, there were struggles with it, we're going to go and recorrect it. It's like, that's all I need to know. Like that, if that was the big issue that was stopping things happening beforehand, now knowing that and knowing it's then taking that into consideration and going, we're going to solve that for you. We say this all the time, and you made this on Denny's version you did yesterday with the uploaded video. It's that process. Instead of sending it off to someone, waiting 2 weeks to come back and understand, there was a problem with your API key this whole time. A 2-minute fix. You just do it there and then. Like you say, go get a cup of tea, come back, sit down, or just do it
Yeah,
whilst you're in that mode, in that zone. You haven't got to
absolutely.
wait for things anymore.
Absolutely. Exactly that. It's silly. It's saying that the API key is invalid. That shouldn't be the case.
I like how it calls you your name, by the way.
Oh, that's baked into the 5-day sprint thing. Make sure you ask them the name. File API key. Let's see what we've got here. That should definitely work though, because that was the one. Okay, let's just generate another one anyway. But the API key should definitely work. Try a very simple test to just check that it works.
Live errors, which are always good. We keep these
Yeah.
in. It's the most important thing.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's a normal part of the process. It's not like you have to create, this is literally what it's like, and everyone's gonna go through this. We don't want to create false sets of reality that like, just do this and then do that and then do that. No, like it's gonna be things.
Yeah, if we wanted to, I'm sure we actually probably could edit this up to 30 minutes rather than being an hour and 30 minutes, but it's so much more worth your while being able
Yeah,
to spend some time in the next week
yeah,
consuming this little and often and having at the end of this week a finished product like this where you
yeah.
can see all the little slips and tricks.
Okay, there we go. Credits. See? Now we're getting there.
Now we are getting there.
Okay, so let me log in. Top this boy up. Okay, see, once you add credits. Okay, let me go in here. let me stop sharing my moment while I just top up my credits.
Yeah, no stress.
I'm minus $3.41 right now.
That's that's dedication to the YouTube to go into debt to make sure that these videos.
Yeah, I'm going to debt for you guys. Let's top this boy up.
Did you I probably should have asked this question ages ago. The layout of how it's produced everything. Did you go into like a Shadzien to get that template, or how did you originally come to that kind of templated example? Did it just give it to you, or did you have to instruct it quite critically?
No, he just gave it to me because again, that's all built into the 5-day sprint. So it was, I literally just said to it, create column, and it can create the. So it's actually quite a nice UI just off the back of it, like, you know. And do you know what's funny? It's like even when I was watching my brother-in-law work and build stuff, I was in his UI. I'm like, why am I overthinking UI sometimes? Like I saw his UI, it's very functional, and it was like, okay, that's great. Like it just does a job, and as a test, why not? You know.
Wow.
Okay, done. So I topped on my credits. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, you can just, and then if you want to, you can tweak these type of things, but it kind of just puts all the relevant things in here for you already, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say that is it,
Like-
the only reason I asked. It's pretty much done. Like
you don't
that is
have to
done.
remember about UI. Yeah. It's already baked into the framework. So, yeah, it's just mad. Oh, crazy stuff. Crazy times.
Yeah, AI is a magnificent place. It's the worst it'll ever be today, and that is the most
Yeah.
exciting thing about the whole
Yeah.
of this AI space.
Absolutely. Okay. So it's going on and generating the videos. We'll let it do its thing. Dun, dun, dun.
I saw a I was going to mention this earlier. I saw a really good YouTube video I want to go and watch with Rourke Heath and another AI creator, and they were just talking about like the whole creative space of AI is just like frightening. In the sense of you don't have to spend all this money and trying to build these AI agents, right? Like it's actually just a case of if you just plug yourself in, allow yourself to learn, speak to these different models, and then just let your child play nature just
Yes.
loose,
Yes.
you are going to get to a stage where either you become very, very efficient at what you do, or you find a way to monetize it. And
Absolutely.
either works because I get to the stage now where I think to myself, like, oh, we need to take action upon all these different tools that you can start building. It's actually, no. Just like, if you can become comfortable, by the way, I think you need to click two. If you can become comfortable with just playing around with these tools, at least knowing you have the same ability that people that are recording these videos to go and build, you might find in 4 months' time when you want to go and do something that's actually relevant to that thing, you have a foundational skill already built in. You're not having to learn something from scratch, and you just let yourself go wild with it. And yes, time comes into factors with these things. We
Yeah.
appreciate that too. But as you're seeing, like I would never even have dreamt, never would have dreamt being able to go and build a tool just like this that's
Absolutely.
allowing us to get outputs, inputs, storing
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
basically, and we're an
I-
hour in.
Well, I think what I find interesting is over time of working with different developers, like my mind was able to understand. There were various like aha moments, and even this was way before obviously AI existed, which was like when I first understood, when I saw design before I even started designing when I was like 16, 17, I didn't understand how web pages put together, and then you understand, okay, oh, it's like design is converted into HTML, so to speak. And I think there was still this era where a lot of designers didn't understand that. And so people, and I still think that happens a little bit where you design like a designer, but you don't understand the constructs of how a web page is built. And so you might look at something that is this amazing sort of like, bezels and roundness and like curves and whatever. And it's like, in a practical sense, there's not actually a UI, there's not actually a way to code that, And so as I understood that was like an aha moment. And then it was like when I understood a bit of database, like every single element is connected to a row on a table somewhere. That's interesting. And then, the table can be automatically populated. That's interesting. All these different steps were like kind of fascinating along the way. And so those things made it a lot more exciting. And then when it comes to AI now, it's like kind of blending everything together, and understand that, okay, well, you can also know how the code itself written by itself and be connected to the design and to the database. And, that's kind of what we're doing right here. Okay. So let's say, just take the two videos and stitch them together using FFmpeg. Okay, so let's just make sure, we just want to make sure it at least does that step, and then we can test it, and then we know that it works. So let's see. Cool. We just want to see if it can gel the videos. And then yeah, you could add narration. Like I was saying, you can go into file and find some let's see, a narration
Yeah, I wonder if
model
they
here.
have a ElevenLabs link.
No, they definitely would, yeah, for sure. Probably. Do they? I don't see it here actually. Let's search. Yeah, text dialogue.
Hmm.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't. But I'm going to trust. It's very good.
So we're gonna take. Why is it playing its own thing? Okay, anyway, I'm sure we can implement it. Okay, so it's successfully stitched two videos together. So this is the URL. So let's check this. So we should have two steps stitched together in this one video, just to know that the FFmpeg works. And they store to our database. Yeah, it's 16 seconds, it's 2 8-second stitched together. Man, that quality is oh. It's crazy. Okay, so I stitched two clips together. So we know I can do that. So now we know that I can do it for all of them. So, okay, great. Now, if I run this in the recipe page, will it do everything it should?
Have we accidentally just found a YouTube editor?
Mate,
That's wild.
you know what I mean? It's so let's check if it can do this. And then we'll see if we can just see if just two steps work for now. Then we'll try to add some more. Let's see. Well, could we come with okay, you know what? Let's see if there's another concept that we could think of as well, where you can stitch together you could just stitch together so much stuff, like really anything, product videos, whatever. But man, you can go in so many different directions with this.
If someone wanted to make a song, right, with ElevenLabs or Suno, you could make your music video with this process.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's probably an easier way of doing it, but
this is
there's
where no,
definitely
but this is where you could kind of really easily create those Coco Melon style faceless YouTube channels, right? Where you can you can go to Suno, create a kid's song, upload the song to an interface like this, and then almost you could sort of
Teeny Tails have this integrated into it.
well, you could use a tool. So imagine like a step beyond this. So you had you upload your audio file from Suno, you use something to extract the lyrics or import the lyrics from Suno, whatever it is. And then based on the lyrics, you then have an API going to Anthropic to then generate video prompts for each part of this song. So like, let's say you take each line. So I don't know, Barney goes to the fair. It then writes a detailed prompt, keeps character consistency, generates everything. Beautiful. And then basically, just stitches it together in its own format.
Dude,
and puts a song behind it as well.
What like, you know how Teeny Tales is at the minute in time and what it will plan to be, which is a children's book
Yeah.
generator. Like,
Yeah.
there's actually a world that you've just created, the side extension of Teeny Tales here, where you have it as a video format. So instead of just having the actual book, you can have a digital video that goes with it, where you do the background music with Suno. You do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Everything. The whole
That
process.
was mental, by the way.
What, the shot?
Yeah.
I mean, she got one old hand and one young hand, by the way. You notice that?
It's not great then.
Aside from that, yeah, the quality is brilliant. Man, yeah. So okay, so the only bit that we won't, because this video will end up being way too long, but it's just a stitching it together. So we sort of stitched it together, but just in the actual process, it seems that it's still stuck on generating video. So I would just get it to I'll just kind of go back and forth with this process of getting it to test in the terminal until it's basically displaying it here. So that's what I would do. But it's bothering me a little bit because I'm like, why is it still sitting on generated video? I'm wondering what's actually going on. So yeah, we could figure it out just by. Okay, there's nothing in the thing here, so we could get it to add console logs and see what's going on. But we know it does it, so we just need to get it to actually display on here. So anyway, we could take so many, so many ways. And now that we've built this out in this Canvas project, I'm going to use this Canvas project to actually do more demos as well. So maybe we could like build on this further. Maybe we could add some other ideas to it. I'm sure over time we can do more things, but it's just a great example of like what's possible and how to actually use APIs, how to stack different APIs. So we stacked a VO model with FFmpeg. You could also just add the Anthropic in there to actually write the prompt for you for it. There's just so many ways you could go around this. It gets me too fired up because, like I said, 9.5 hours in a day to be able to build this stuff. But man, boys, it's fun, isn't it?
Mate, I would actually encourage, if anyone's got to the stage in the video, comment an idea of what we could go and build it. And I would happily take time to jump on a call with them and then try and build it and come to real life.
Yeah. I mean, even get people on in the show as well and actually do stuff as well. So if there's ideas that you want to build, then absolutely, man. Well, that was fun. We kind of have these sessions every week where we just say, okay, let's jump on, let's talk about the stuff. It can be things around the community, it can be things that are happening in AI, things we want to build, but more so just riffing, but trying to just deliver the value. So that's the most important thing. So hopefully this has been valuable. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any other last minute thoughts, Ollie? Anything you want to share?
I'm trying to not think of more ideas. If anything else comes out of my mouth, it'll be a new idea, and all of a sudden it'll be here
I'll
for
have
2
to
hours.
build it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we've just gone from looking at a new tool to discovering we probably could go and make our own tool and delivered it with hopefully a whole load of insight for people to go and take action on. So
yeah, very exciting.
very,
stuff.
very cool. Appreciate your time as always, by the way.
No, lovely, man. Thank you, Ollie. It was great stuff. Well, hopefully we'll catch everyone next week for another session. Actually, next week might be a little pause. I'm traveling, so maybe the week after or the end of next week. So we'll figure it out.
Awesome.
All right, take it. See you guys.
Clap, 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 we're done just right. 5-day sprint took us to new heights.